Hello students, I am Mrs. Rupali Samir Brahme from Deccan Education Society's Ferguson College, Pune. Students, today we are going to see the online examination instructions for your final board examination. For information technology subject, the paper comes via internet. So every student will get a different question paper. While solving the question paper, what kind of questions you need to solve and what will be the paper pattern that we are going to see today. We will also see what precautions you will take while solving the answers, what the subjective type and objective type questions pattern will be there for your examination. Let us begin with the presentation to look at what kind of paper you will get and how will be the look and feel of your final examination. Let us begin with the presentation for it. Students, we will see the guidelines of HSC Board Information Technology Final Online Examination. It is divided into two parts, theory and practical. In theory examination, you will have subjective as well as objective questions. For subjective questions, you will have the weightage of 20 marks and 60 marks weightage will be for objective questions. 20 marks will be there for practical examination. So for theory and practical examination, your IT lab of your college, your examination will be batch wise. So you need to check which is your batch during your final online examination. Students, this is the screen of final online examination. Look at the screen. Whenever you will run the online exam software during your final board examination, at that time you need to check your seat number is correct or not. Subject code is 97 over here because this is for science subject code. You need to check commerce subject code and art subject code 98 and 99 depending on your stream. Students, observe the second thing is you need to check is the index number. This is the index number of college. Your teacher will let you know the index number. You need to check whether it is correct or not. Also observe when you want to see the question paper, you will find 8 buttons on the left hand side. Students, you will get the question paper like other subjects 10 minutes prior your exam time. For example, your exam starts at 11 o'clock, then you will get a paper 10 minutes prior to 11. Students, by clicking on these buttons below the status, you will get the questions on the right hand side. You can see the questions in any sequence. You can read the complete paper within 10 minutes given. You can solve the paper in any sequence. Means if I feel that I can here appeared on the left hand side. Students, if you don't solve any of the question, you will find red square over here or orange if you are not visited. So this is the indication whether you solved it or not. After solving all the questions, you will find all the squares green over here. Students, after all the squares are green, you can click on the finish button. But prior that, while solving the questions, you need to keep eye on your time left. This is on the right top corner over here. So on your mock examination screen, you will find that there is a time left thing and current time also it will display. So this is important because you should keep eye on time during examination. Students, you need to click on the finish button once you have submitted all the questions answers. While solving the question number 1, that is a fill in the blanks question, you need to type in the given text box. In question number 2, radio buttons will be there for true and false selection. In question number 3, again radio buttons will be there for single correct answer. Student, for this year, question number 4 has been changed to 20 marks. So in that, you need to select 2 correct answers using check boxes. In question number 5, that is match the following, and in question number 7, answer briefly, you need to type the answers. Students, this is a paper pattern in front of you. In the fill in the blanks, 10 questions will have the weightage of 10 marks. True and false, 10 questions, 10 marks. Do remember to solve all the questions, attempt all the questions because there is no negative marking in examination. So always try to select the answers. In multiple choice select options also, there are 10 questions. having weightage of 10 marks. Student, there is a little bit change from last year to this year, that 2 correct answers will be of 10 having 20 marks weightage. Multiple choice 3 correct answer is having weightage of 6 marks will be having only 2 questions. So obviously 3 marks each. Match the following. From each chapter you will get one distractor over here for the match. In answer briefly, you will get 5 questions to solve out of 8. And the weightage for each question is 2 marks. So total 10 marks. Students, question number 8A and 8B, both you will have options. You have to select only one out of that. HTML or HTML program means you need to solve any of the HTML program question. That means you will write one HTML program in your answer and you will write one JavaScript program in your answer sheet. So here you need to type the JavaScript code and you need to type HTML code. Students, do remember over here you need to know at least basic structure of HTML. You can type over here whichever you know. So please do attend this question, because whatever you will write, stepwise marks will be given for the program. For JavaScript as well, how to embed JavaScript, that you must know. How to write the form and event-driven programming, you must know, because the question mostly asked based on the event-driven programming. So you must know how to write the form. What are the events like on click, on double click, on mouse over, like such events you can write in your JavaScript program. So depending on what kind of question is asked, you can write the event. Student, do remember over here, while writing the code, marks are given stepwise. So always attempt these questions. This is a topic-wise marks distribution or topic-wise weightage for each chapter. So first chapter will be having 20 marks weightage. Marks with option are 25. Why? Just now we have seen we have got the 5 marks option in question number 8A for this first chapter. From SEO, you will be having 10 marks weightage and 2 marks option will be there. Which 2 marks option? In answer briefly, you will get one extra question from SEO. From advanced JavaScript, again one program just now we have seen will be the optional thing. In emerging technologies, again 2 marks short answer question will be there for the optional thing. In PHP, everything is compulsory, 15 marks, and marks with option 15 marks. So no options will be there for PHP questions. From e-commerce and e-governance, again the short answer question will be there, question number 7. One extra question will be there from this chapter. Let us see chapter wise marks distribution, like for the fill in the blanks. From the first chapter, 2 marks questions tentatively asked. So all these marks are tentative marks, not, it may vary little bit during your final examination. So fill in the blanks questions from first chapters will be 2. True false will be 1. 2 questions for one single answer correct will be there from first chapter. 3 questions of 6 marks will be there from first chapter, and 1 question of 3 correct answer will be there from the first chapter. Students, observe from the second chapter, 2 fill in the blanks will be asked, 1 true false will be asked, 1 answer correct, 2 questions will be asked, 2 answer correct, 1 question will be asked, and there won't be any question based on 3 correct answer based on SEO. If you observe for 3 correct answer from the chapter 1, 3 correct answer, 1 question will be asked, and from PHP chapter again 1 question will be asked. If you observe from every chapter, you will be having the fill in the blanks question. True false question, you will find they are more in PHP. True false questions will be 2 in case of e-commerce. If you observe over here, the weightage for PHP chapter is MCQ. 2 questions will be asked, which will be having 2 answers. 2 questions, 4 marks weightage. 1 question of 3 correct answer, and match from every chapter 1 will be there. Short answer questions will be from SEO, emerging technologies, e-commerce and e-governance, from these 3 chapters. As you all know, the program question number 8A will be from chapter 1, write HTML program, and From chapter 3, write a JavaScript program. For annual examination, you will get 2 practical slips. You have to perform any one of it. Students, do remember that these slips will be from different skill sets. That means one will be from HTML, then another will be of JavaScript. If one is of JavaScript, one more will be there with PHP. So any combination you will get of the slips. But you will get 2 different slips of any skill set. So here you need to perform any of the program. You need to execute it, and for that 15 marks is there. Students, do remember to write the handwritten code during the practical. Whenever you will come for the practical examination, at that time teacher will ask you to write down the code on the paper. You need to type that written code on the computer after getting it checked by the examiner. Typing and writing the correct code is having marks. Getting a printout is also having marks. So do remember to take the printouts. Your journal must be certified and must be signed by authorities. The certified journal is having the 5 marks weightage. Such total marks weightage is there for the practical examination. Your journal must have the index as well as the certificate along with you. Examination practical slips, as I said, will be having 2 questions and you have to solve any one of it. So this is the easy paper pattern for the practical. You will be having 3 hours for performing the practical. The skill oriented practicals, these are from advanced web designing. You need to perform 5 SOP. From advanced JavaScript, 4 SOPs you can perform, and from server side scripting, 3 SOPs. This is the minimum requirement for your practical journal. Students, do remember to solve all the SOPs for your practice purpose. Minimum criteria, though it is 12, you can have more than 12 in your journal. For this year only, 2021, it is only 7 restricted for journal completion. Let us see one by one what type of questions can be asked in your examination. From the chapter 1, you need to remember all the tags and attributes. Students, make a sheet having a table inside it, in which write HTML tag, its attribute, and use like such 3 kind of columns, so that whenever you will go for the examination, you will just look at it and you will revise it. Students, do remember types of style sheets: inline, internal, and external. In question number 8A, the question can be asked based on inline or internal or external style sheet. You will be given some kind of a text which should have the formatting using CSS, and that can be any kind of CSS. For example, display information technology word in Arial font and green color using inline CSS. Or the question can be using internal CSS, give the effect of red color and underline to the word online examination by making use of internal CSS. Such kind of questions can be there in question number 8A. Do remember a class selector which you can make use of in internal CSS. You need to remember ID selector as well, because question can be asked based on class and ID. Students, do remember that we have discussed in this chapter that class selector definition always starts with dot and ID selector declaration starts with hash. So that also you need to remember for the fill in the blanks. Universal selector you must know, and star is used as a wildcard element to select all the elements. The question may come based on the universal selector in question number 8A for writing the program, or this word can be asked for the fill in the blanks. Creation of list, OL tag, UL tag, and DL tag you should remember for fill in the blanks as well as multiple choice single correct answer. Even for 2 correct answer also question can be asked. Along with OL and UL both tags, LI tag is used. So these tags you must remember along with its attribute. For example, OL has an attribute start as well as type, whereas UL has attribute type. So you should remember all these tags along with its attribute, and DL tag along with its other tags like DD and DT. You should know how to create nested list, because in question number 8A again question can be asked based on nested lists. So nested list means list within a list, that also you need to practice during your practical session. Students, do remember audio and video tags along with the extensions of the files. You must know audio file extensions and video file extensions for two correct answer as well as for single correct answer. The audio tag and video tag both can be used along with the source tag. Students, do remember both tags. Whenever you are writing a tag, you must make use of the angle bracket while writing the tag as an answer in the fill in the blank. In image mapping, we have used image tag, map tag and area tag. Students, do remember all these tags for fill in the blanks as well as for single correct answer. You need to remember all the attributes of each tag. For example, you will remember map tag has a single attribute called as a name. You should remember all the attributes of area tag like chords, href, alt and so on. Shape attribute has three values: circle, rect and poly. So such questions can be asked for three correct answer, which are the values for the shape attribute and which is the attribute for the map tag, or which are the attributes of image tag. Such kind of a questions can come from this topic. Use map keyword is very important. Most of the time this keyword is used for fill in the blanks. For client side image mapping, you have to make use of the use map keyword inside the image tag to specify the name of the map file. So you need to remember this use map for the client side image mapping. Students, do remember all the attributes of iframe tag like src, width, height and so on. So all the attributes can be asked in two correct or three correct answer. You need to remember that inline frames are used for online advertisement. Let us see some more questions from this chapter. Students, form tag is used in question number 8a as well as in 8b. Why? Because the question can be there for event driven programming, and for event driven programming you need to accept values in the form. So you must know the form tag and its attribute. These attributes will be asked in question number 4 or 3 for single correct or two correct answer as well. Form tag has attributes method and action. So these two attributes along with its values, like method has get and post values, you must remember that because questions will be there in your examination which are the values for method attribute of the form tag. What action attribute does for the form, that also you need to remember. So form tag has total 3 attributes: name, action and method. All these you must remember for the form tag. Input tag is used for accepting values from the user. Students, make use of the restrictions for accepting the values. Students, you can make use of input tag for accepting the color, accepting the email ID, accepting a telephone number or a range or display submit button or accept a date. Students, input restrictions you need to remember for the examination. So all these can be asked in your examination. What will be the value of type attribute in input tag? So accept a email ID, let us say, to accept a color. So in that case, you should remember all these keywords. Students, do remember the keywords pattern, disabled, max, mean, autocomplete. So these attributes are used for restrictions. You need to remember that for the multiple choice questions. Meta tag is very important because it's used by search engines, and students, meta tag is placed within the head section. You must remember this statement can be asked for the true false. Students, remember all the CSS properties like display, float, text dash decoration, color, background dash color, font dash size, font dash family and so on. All the CSS properties table you can create and learn it for the online examination. Students, let us go for the chapter 2, that is SEO. From this chapter, short notes are going to come mostly, as well as the other objective questions are also there. So let us see what kind of short notes and questions can be asked on them. What is SEO? What are the techniques used for SEO? So you must know white hat and black hat SEO technique. The question can be asked only, say, describe in short white hat SEO, or just describe what are the techniques of SEO in brief, or what are the factors to improve the ranking. So list the factors. So these points you should able to write down. Students, do remember what SEO means, or short note on SEO if asked, you need to write down the ways to develop a website to rank higher in search engines results is explained through search engine optimization, or is obtained through search engine optimization. Students, do remember SEO audit tools like SEO Optimer or SEO Matter. You need to remember how the keywords affects for improving the ranking. Title tag, meta tag or heading tags are important for ranking your web page. Such kind of a questions can be asked for true and false. Students, all these points like social media links or user friendliness, speed of the website matters in SEO that you need to remember for multiple choice questions. Students, do remember on-page SEO and off-page SEO techniques also for short note as well as for single correct or two correct answers. Let us go for the chapter 3. Students, do remember the difference. Though difference will not be asked for short answer, you need to remember for true false questions and for single correct answers. You need to remember switch case statements because switch case can be asked in your question number 8B for write a program. Loop structures also you need to remember for question number 8B. The question can be asked based on for loop and while loop in question number 8B. Students, do remember the built-in objects like DOM, window object, string objects with their properties and methods. So questions can be asked on properties and methods for two correct answer as well as single correct answer for built-in objects. Students, do remember the word window object because it is the topmost object in the DOM hierarchy. Window object is a parent object of other objects. So this can be asked for fill in the blanks. JavaScript events are important because in question number 8B, you are going to write down any of the event like this. You may write on click, on load, on submit or on blur event in question number 8B. So question is definitely going to come based on the events. Events are the actions done by the user like click, on click, user is loading the page, user is unloading the page and so on. The inner HTML property is used to change HTML element and change its contents. Let us go for the chapter number 4. In emerging technologies, the question will be asked in short note as well as objective type of questions will be there. Write short note on Internet of Things, cloud computing and 5G technique. You need to remember the cloud computing benefits. You need to remember the short note may come on cloud computing. Let us see the next points from this chapter. The question may come, write short note on various service models of cloud computing. So you need to remember all these models along with the examples. So these examples are very important for your 2 correct or 3 correct answer. What AAS stands for, what PAAS stands for and what SAAS stands for, you must remember. Students, let us go for the next point. You must remember the types of deployments of cloud computing, that is public, private and hybrid. Short note may come based on it. 5G short note will come and what are the applications of it, the question may come on it. Let us go for the chapter 5. From PHP, the question may come the delimiters of PHP, what you will specify. So this is the delimiter to start with the PHP code. The extension of PHP is important, that is .php. Student, do remember .css for the cascading style sheet and .php for the PHP files. .map for external map file in server-side script. PHP script can be placed anywhere in HTML document. Statement can be asked for true false. Echo statement you must remember to display the text. Students, do remember some of these points as well from PHP. The 3 different types of variable like local, global and static variables. Students, array is declared as well as variables are declared by using the dollar symbol. It's important and can be asked in your examination. You need to write on the array name and followed by the keyword array and the values. So this is the syntax for array. Students, do remember this array word can be asked for the fill in the blanks. Dash stores multiple values in a single variable. PHP has many built-in functions like string functions we have studied. All the string functions you must remember, because from string function what will be the output? Question can be asked in single correct answer or two correct answers. This is very important that PHP super globals underscore get and underscore post. So $_get and $_post are the arrays used to collect the form data. This can be asked for two correct answers. This is all about chapter 5. Let us go for the chapter 6. What is e-commerce? What are the advantages and disadvantages of it? Distinguish between traditional commerce and e-commerce. What are the types of e-commerce or models of e-commerce? Are B2B, B2C, C2B and C2C. So question can come on any of these model, or even what are the types of e-commerce. Do remember the trade cycle specifically for the two correct or three correct answer. Students, the questions will be asked on any of the phase of the trade cycle. Like pre-sale contains search and negotiate, execution contains order and deliver, settlement contains invoice and payment, and after sale contains the maintenance and after sale activities. So you need to remember all the phases and its intermediate stages as well for two correct as well as single correct answer. Let us go for the next mode of payments like credit card, mobile payment, bank transfer and e-wallet. You must know for the short note. All the forms of e-commerce can be asked for two correct answers, which is mobile commerce and social commerce. Students, do write at least 4 points for 2 marks. From e-commerce technologies, write short note on EDI or what EDI stands for is important. What is e-governance and what are the types of e-governance? Question may be asked in question number 7 for 2 marks. Students, from security again question may come for the short note, and what are the security measures? On each security measure question may come for the fill in the blanks or for single correct or two correct answer. This is all about. But last but not the least, all the best for your online examination. So students, today we have gone through the paper pattern, what is the weightage for each chapter and how your online examination will be. Students, be present for your examination in time like other subject examination in your computer lab for your final examination as well. In your online examination, login starts half an hour prior your examination. So to start your computer, be ready for your examination early. Best of luck for your final HSC board IT examination. Thank you.